Families of the victims of drunk driving continue to fight for justice as they plead for tougher laws in Canada when it comes to impaired driving. Kuei Evano reports.
1,825 empty shoes were put on display in a public park in Cochrane, Alberta by members of the Families of Justice. This represents the total lives lost in Canada in 2013 to drunk driving. Grieving parents, relatives and friends organized a campaign to honor and remember the loved ones they've lost. They also send a powerful visual statement to the public in raising awareness to the impact of impaired driving as a crime. Family and friends of Francis Pesa, the Filipino-Canadian youth who was killed on New Year's Day this year by a drunk driver, helped set up the event as they continue to fight for justice for Francis.
We're hoping that this will demonstrate the magnitude of the loss that has been seen over the past year, just in 2013 alone. So we hope it'll spread awareness, it'll get people to think twice about drinking and driving.
For Pesa's family and friends, the road to justice is slow, and the sentences given to drunk drivers are too lenient. Like many of the victims' families, they don't want others to suffer like they have.
It's unfair for everybody who's going through it. I want them to get the fair amount of equality that they get with the laws in Canada. I wish they could do something to further prevent things like this to happen, especially drinking and driving.
Kim Thomas, one of the organizers, whose son Brandon was killed by an impaired driver in December 2012, up to now is also fighting for tougher laws in Canada when it comes to drunk driving. The 22-year-old man responsible for his son's death was handed a 2-year and 8-month sentence, which Thomas said was a slap in our face.
We need to see a change. We are not changing anything. The numbers are going up. We need to change the laws. There's not a strong enough deterrent to those that do drink and drive. It's basically a slap on the wrist. All of these faces here and all of these shoes that represent the lives, they matter. And they always did matter, and they always will.
She advises and pleads with everyone to always prioritize safety on the roads and not to drink and drive.
For the teenagers, please have a DD. You know, make sure that you've got a safe way home. Make sure that you are watching on the road also, the other drivers, because it's not just you. You know, you can always make the right decision and still lose your life, you know, or be injured because of someone else. Think before you drink and drive.
The Families for Justice members and volunteers also gathered signatures for the petition to have a minimum mandatory sentence of 5 years for people convicted of impaired driving causing death and change the name of the charge to vehicle manslaughter. The shoes were sent from all across Canada and were donated to charity after the event. Kuei Evano, ABC News, Cochrane, Alberta.